Right. So originally, I'm from South Texas. I'm from Brownsville, which is right on the border of Matamoros, Mexico. I didn't grow up in Brownsville, however. I was raised in Mexico, and I lived there till I was about 6 years old. I attended kindergarten and about half of first grade. We then moved to the Houston area, and there I attended school to about the third grade. My mother at the time, she didn't really like the Houston area, so she wanted to go back south. So I ended up in Brownsville till I was about fourth, fifth grade, and then my mother got sick and she needed treatment, and she ended up getting treatment here in the Houston area, cancer treatment, and we ended up moving here. We stayed with an aunt and uncle, one of her siblings. My brother and I did, and I'm the youngest of two. My brother's a little bit older than I am. And my mother passed away in 1990. So from then on, we stayed with that uncle, and he finished raising both my brother and I. I never met my dad. So my dad passed away when I was very young, less than a year old. My brother was about 3, I guess. But I finished middle school and high school in the Houston area, and actually in the Alding area. I went to MacArthur High School. And then I started life at a pretty young age. You know, I married my high school sweetheart, and we both went on and did the college thing, and you know, both decided we're going to be educators. And I have 2 young sons. They're 9 and 7 with her, and she's still in education as well. So I actually went to work in the oil and gas field full time to support my family. And the rest of the time I was studying when I had time. You know, I never took a semester off. But I never took more than 9 hours a semester, just because it was difficult. Full time, 80-hour every 2-week job, and part time school was pretty heavy schedule. So I worked oil and gas for about 7.5 years overall, and then when I graduated, I really wanted to teach and coach, but I was also given an opportunity to work in construction management. It was one that I couldn't pass up. So I did that for about a year, and the coaching bug and the teaching bug was just there. So after a year, I decided to go get certified, and I was fortunate enough to land at Klein High School in the Klein area. I spent my first 9 years in education, teaching and coaching there. I did grad school while I was there, so I have my master's in administration as well. And then I was looking for growth. So that's when I decided to move, and I actually worked for Coach Vanover at Tomball Memorial. And I was with him there, and then after he retired, I went to work in Cy-Fair for a year. And he texted me one evening, and he said, hey, Livingston is a possibility, and I said, Coach, well, I'd love to work for you again. And then after he was announced as a finalist for the job, and he was awarded the job, he and I stayed in touch, and he asked me to come up and visit with him, and I did. And I'll tell you what, I was very impressed with the place, and I was very excited about the possible opportunity to work for him again. And we made it happen. You know, his thing was, hey, Coach, I know it's a little bit outside the loop, you know, talking about down in the Houston area. And my response was, Coach, it's a lot outside the loop. But, you know, I know what he stands for. I know what kind of boss he is because I've worked with him before. In regards to football, he and I share the same philosophy. And we knew it would be an easy marriage for me to be here. And he made me an offer, and I couldn't turn it down. And I'm very excited to not only work for him again, but to work. I've never worked in a one high school community, and the differences are awesome. You know, on the positive end of things. I know we're going to have the community support. I can already feel it. But you know, we're excited to be here. We're excited to get things rolling, and yeah, sky's the limit. So I had very little familiarity with Livingston. Actually, my in-laws owned some property on Alaska, okay. And you know, their plan was to retire there later on down the road. It didn't quite happen. They ended up, you know, selling the property or whatnot. And I honestly had been in the Livingston area maybe twice, and I'd been through Livingston, but I wasn't very familiar with Livingston, the town. It didn't take me very long to find the Whataburger and the Subway and things of that sort. But no, I can tell it's a community that prides itself on the concept of community. So that's exciting, especially in the job that we're in and the career that we're in a town like this, to have that support, it's going to be a big plus. So we're looking forward to it for sure. So the easy part is football, right? Anytime you can work for somebody who you understand and he understands you, it makes it easy. But Vanover stands for discipline, and he stands for toughness, and he's not apologetic about things that he feels are going to help our kids become good young men. And the fact that he's going to allow us as coordinators to come in and piggyback off of that and be able to teach these kids to prepare them for life, to be good young men, because later on the road they're going to be dads and they're going to be husbands. And what he stands for in regards to that, football aside, is a big plus for me. It's a big reason why I know I can easily work for him anywhere he goes. So that's kind of the biggest reason why. I probably have like a handful of friends, and he knows everybody in Texas, it seems like. But yeah, for sure, I was glad that he gave me the opportunity at Tomball Memorial. And it's always good to experience different coaches and different programs to see what they're about. And as soon as I started there and as soon as I started working for him, right off the bat, I said, wow, and after he retired, I said, Coach, I'm going to stay in touch, because where you are, I want to be. But he definitely has a lot of connections, a lot of stories. That experience as I'm going to say younger, not young, but as a younger coach and coordinator, those experiences that he shares with us are, for us, or for me at least, are learning experiences. He's got stories from way back when he started, and what worked and what didn't. Anything that he shares with us, we got to be sponges. We got to be able to soak that up and apply it. Obviously, we want growth in our career as well. So I'm taking that experience from him and just kind of learning from it, and that's a positive thing. That's great. Right. So I wasn't his coordinator at Tomball Memorial. I just worked under him on the offensive side of the football. When he offered me the coordinator position here, for me it's a compliment that, one, he trusts me to run the offense, and two, I think he understands that my loyalty to him matters, because I know what his philosophy is. As far as offensive football, during our camp, I'm chit-chatting with the kid and telling him, hey, we're going to run the ball. We're going to establish the run game. That's what we want to do. We want to throw the ball when we want, not when we have to. We want to get good at what we do, and that's going to be our philosophy. We're going to, in essence, do what we do and get good at it. I want our kids to buy in. I want our kids to be excited about what we're doing. And so far from what I see as far as numbers go in our camp, they're buying in. They've been buying in. We're not quite there yet, but for being on the job for about a month, being in camp 2.5 weeks, I leave here every day with a smile on my face going, wow, it's amazing. The kids are coming up here, they're working hard. You can ask for anything more as a coach, especially as a coordinator. But in regards to football, we want to be dominant in the run game, and that's our plan. That's our goal. I think that's a great opportunity for us. I think the kids understand that we're not going to relive the past. We're not going to talk about the past. I think the kids understand that we're starting fresh from our end, but they also understand it's going to be a fresh start for them. What we're not doing, at least what I'm not doing as a coach, is I'm not bringing that up. I wasn't here. I don't know much about it. I obviously know some of the numbers and the stats that go with that. The one thing that I do tell the kids is, you can't settle for being mediocre. You can't. If you're here, you're working hard over the summer, that means that you don't want to be mediocre. You want to be better than that. So, I try not to bring up what happened last year. I think our group of kids that we have this year understand that, and they know. A lot of them are asking questions. A lot of them are interested in what we have to offer them. And our goal goal is to give Livingston athletics, the Livingston community, something to cheer about. You know, I've always said, as far as being a coach, if our kids aren't excited about leaving this place as young men, if they're not excited about coming back this summer after the first year in the workforce or in college or wherever they end up, then we're not doing our job, right? So coaching is easy. That's the easy part. Making young men out of these boys is a tough part, and our goal is to do that. So we're not going to focus on what happened last year. We're going to focus on, you know, this year, moving forward. What can we do to help our program? What can you do to help the program? What can we do to help the community? What can the community do to support us? Those are all the things that we want to focus on. So I guess you know, to kind of close that out, it's a fresh start for everybody, and that's what we're excited about the most. So our expectations are high. The expectations for our coaching staff, our offensive staff, our defensive staff, our kids, our team are super high. Right now, our goal is to go undefeated. Right now, our goal is to be a playoff team. You get hot at the right time in the playoffs, sky's the limit, right? But I like to coach 1 week at a time. I don't, you know, some coaches, maybe based on personality or coaching style, like to look at big picture. I like to focus on practice for that day, on our opponent for that week. I think we start little and we work towards that big goal. But, you know, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I didn't want to be undefeated, because I do. I want to win every ball game, and I want to be a playoff team from the start. You know, we're going to rebuild this thing, but we're going to rebuild it starting now. You know, we're not going to build it starting in a year or two. You know, we're putting in the work now, and that's the plan. You know, any team that has little success, it's tough. The kids tend to kind of drop off a little bit and that stuff, and we don't want to do that. We want to, you know, catch momentum early. The goal is to catch momentum early and keep that momentum going towards the end of the year. You know, I'm excited about being here. I can't speak for, you know, Coach Garza, our defense coordinator, but I personally, I know he is, so maybe I can't speak for him a little bit, but we're both excited to be here. We know the support that we so desire is going to be there from the community. You know, the fresh start is going to be a big thing for us. And we're ready to get rolling. You know, we want those stands full. We're gonna get it rolling. And you know, just thanks to them already for their support. So